I appreciate you, first of all, not going into a criminal justice system and then just coming out and not doing something about it. My very top, how will you punish your child?
All right, welcome to From the Inside Out podcast, where I'm your host, Greg Washington, and I'm excited today. I got a good friend, and man, this guy is amazing. Hakeem, I'm so delighted, man, that you would take your Saturday afternoon away from your family. I know that's important to you. Me and you have had great conversations, but you know, we're tackling this question. You know, I don't know where this question came from. It was in my heart. And, you know, I just been asking this question: how do you punish a child? And from the Inside Out podcast, we want to use real life stories to educate, motivate, and to teach people what it is that they need to know, because I feel like everybody learns this story. So today I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, and then I want you to just start talking about your experience, because what most people don't realize, yes, as a parent, I know how I want to punish my child, but what we're talking about is a criminal justice system that if we don't punish the child for not turning in their cell phone, they will punish the child for stealing the cell phone. So I want you to elaborate on that, introduce yourself, man, and let's go from there, man.
And first, just thank you for having me.
Yes.
I was excited when you told me to come on board, get a chance to share my story, because I believe there's a child right now waiting in the darkness right now, waiting to hear something that I say that gives me a ray of hope.
Okay.
So my name is Hakeem Woodard. John Maxwell, speaker, coach, and trainer, personality insight, a behavior consultant, and I created so many different jobs.
Right.
Now, but if you go back in the past, you would say there's nowhere in the world this kid's gonna be nothing.
Wow.
I was incarcerated at the age of 15 for armed robbery and murder out of Gwinnett County.
Wow.
I think, it was coming in, I was saying, Gwinnett County is not the Gwinnett County that we know today.
Right. So you were 15.
Yeah, 15 years old.
Facing a criminal justice system. Now tell me about that experience, man, because I can only imagine. I mean, 15, what grade? What was your highest?
My highest grade was the ninth grade.
Wow.
But the eighth grade, I was in Norcross. I remember I was in Norcross High School. I was trying to run track, and I'll explain in a minute. And
right.
when the coach saw me, he said, "Man, you're fast. I'm gonna bus you to Parkview High School. I'm gonna bus you to Parkview High School." And I say, "For what?" He said, "Football." And I haven't played football before, but I wanted to. Because it's 5 of us.
Right.
I'm the second oldest. And at that time, my family, they had been Jehovah's Witnesses for a while, and at that time, they didn't believe in sports. It was competition, no competition.
Right.
So when I'm like, I'm be a football player. I mean, I can remember my mom saying, I love her. I love my mom. She knows this. I said it before. I remember her saying, "That's the devil's work." That's the devil's work. And I can remember when I went to Parkview High School, I was the only African American male there.
Wow.
What
year was this?
This is in 1987.
Wow.
So it was only one African American female there.
Wow.
But see, when I saw her, she looked at me like, "What the? Who are you?" But that didn't have any effect on me.
Right.
That didn't have any effect on me. What had effect on me was the fact that I could do something good. I wasn't as smart as the rest of my siblings. I could do something. I could run.
Right.
But it wasn't accepted from home.
Right.
It wasn't accepted.
Right.
So when your child is not accepted at home, there's another piper playing his flute, and that's the streets. And I heard the piper playing because the streets will accept you. You know this.
Yeah.
The streets will accept you whether you fat, skinny, poor, white, black. The streets don't have no racism. The streets say this society, this culture right now, which kind of like makes me sick. Is everything has to be racism. Everything is racism. Right. And they don't realize it's only pushing our kids to the streets more because the streets don't care.
Right.
It's going to give you a false sense of family.
Wow.
That we care about you.
Wow.
We together. We love you. We ride or die for you. And all of that is just the piper. It's just playing the pipe while the parents are, arguing about this and arguing about that. The piper's been playing that flute for a long time.
Wow.
And their children are walking. They're waking up and their children are gone.
Wow. So that had you in a courtroom, hearing the Pied Piper. So you in this courtroom at 15. Tell us that experience, man. That had to be, to me, that's a traumatic event at 15, because I went in a criminal justice system and I was like 30. And it was still a traumatic event for me. So I can only imagine a 15-year-old being in there, man.
I was, at that time of the crime, I was so lost. I was so far gone. You remember that movie In Too Deep?
Yeah.
That was me.
Okay.
I was in too deep. The streets. I was in too deep.
Wow.
So I'm sitting in the courtroom and I'm really thinking to myself, it has not hit me what I done. The totality of it, the magnitude of it, it hadn't hit me. I'm thinking I'm going home. I'm gonna get off on this. So my lawyer is David Wolf, a good lawyer at that time, a young David Wolf. He's young now.
Yeah.
He told me to write a letter to my mama during the court hearings to make it seem like I was helping him in my trial, because I didn't know what nobody was saying. The voir dire, the witness statements, transport, all this stuff they were saying, all these laws and legislative stuff they were saying in the courtroom. I didn't know what they were talking about. In law states that an adult, and if an adult is held incompetent to stand trial,
right,
his mental capacity is not enough to stand trial. What do you mean? That a grown adult is thinking as a child, so he can't be stand trial.
Right.
But what about a child that is thinking as a child? How can we stand trial?
Wow. Hey, that's good, man.
Think about that.
That's good, man.
So they do that for an adult.
Wow.
But listen to the language. You're being tried as an adult, which means they know you're not an adult. You're being tried just as one. You're acting in place of one. So we treat you like one, even though you're not one.
Wow, that's deep. That's deep. So if anybody watching this podcast, you need to catch that line he just said. So we know it's laws that was put into place, and it seemed like you went to prison at a kind of a moment where a lot of things were happening. We had the minimum mandatories, just what he just said. Please be pulling out your pencil or pen. He say being tried as an adult, but you're a child being tried as an adult. Yeah. So you're acting as an adult.
But they know you're not.
But they know you're not. Wow. That is, man, you just educated me today. Because, I'm listening to that. We didn't heard that plenty of times, and we're talking about how do you punish a child. So you saying the criminal justice system saying we're going to try you as an adult, as a child, but you acting like you're an adult that day.
That day.
Wow.
But even though an adult that has
deep.
a mind of a child can't be tried, they held him incompetent.
Wow.
So Georgia lowered the laws. Now you can try a child as an adult at the age of 13.
Wow.
Wow. It's shocking.
It's shocking, man. And I just hope somebody watching this, and I hope somebody will be sharing this with, and we know it's a lot of stuff going on with our young people today. And this is the only reason we're doing this podcast. Because Aakeem had a real experience that you're going to learn more about as he shared with us and take us on the journey. So Aakeem, you go to court, and then boom, now you get tried. How much time did you get?
I had 2 trials, really.
Wow.
The first trial was a locked jury. I had 11 not guilty and 1 undecided.
Wow.
Undecided really supposedly meant not guilty.
Right.
Now my lawyer tells me that when I came home, he said I messed. He said I didn't catch that at that time, because undecided means because you're supposed to be found guilty without a shadow of a doubt.
Right.
That's doubt. Undecided is a doubt.
Undecided is doubt. Right.
But the judge called it a mistrial, came back and then tried me, and the judge gave me a life sentence. I can remember what he said. He said, I sentenced you to life so get this filth out of my courtroom.
Say that again?
He said, I sentence you to life, so get this filth out of my courtroom.
Wow.
And at that time, when he said that, I still didn't know what he just done. The magnitude of what I done and what he just said still hasn't resonated. I'm 16 now because the trial went on a year.
Wow.
I'm not understanding. It still hadn't hit me that he's literally telling me that I'm 16, possibly live till I'm 80, that I will be in prison for the next, 70 years.
Wow.
So I remember I go to Juvenile. I'm a 8th grade, 9th grade dropout. Lost. And I go into the juvenile system because in the state of Georgia, you don't go to prison until you turn 17.
Right. So you went into the juvenile system when they
Yes.
sentenced you. Okay.
Went into the juvenile system, and I wrote this in my book. I didn't realize what was going on in the juvenile until I became an adult. But when I went into the juvenile, we was basically really being molested
Wow.
because we were having relationships with. That's the first time I got my heart broke. First time I got my heart broke was from a female staff in Milledgeville, YDC.
Wow.
It was a group of us who was involved with the women,
Right.
and there was a group there they still acting immature.
Right.
So us, we done serious crime, we got serious time. So
Right. So you trying to act like a man.
act like a man, but we was being, these women, we being passed around.
Wow. 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 Wow.
And I can remember when my heart got broke the first time the female told me. She said, and I was trying to talk to her because on the street I was still doing letters. You love me, I love you. Y'all 15. I don't know about no relationship. I wasn't really being out there like that.
Right.
So now I'm out there, and being honest, I'm having sex with this older woman.
Yeah.
And I go talk with her. She said, leave me alone. I found someone better than you.
Wow.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, that my first response was I'm gonna slap her.
Wow.
That's why if you go back in Milledgeville around the time of 88, 89, 90, 89, you'll find a lot of young men were jumping on the females.
Wow.
But they didn't know why.
Oh.
We're jumping on the female because they were playing us like cattle.
Wow.
And then on top of that, what people don't know, you just locked up a sheriff for putting people in a chair. But in Milledgeville, YDC, around that time, we was being put on that chair all the time.
Wow.
And then shot with Thurazine if we kicked on the door.
Wow.
I'm talking about a horse tranquilizer.
Wow.
To a point that we would sit there and boo-boo and pee on ourselves, brother. We couldn't move. We couldn't move, brother.
Wow.
We sit in that cell and boo-boo and pee on ourselves.
Wow.
And the nurse for hours. Then the nurse would come clean us up, man, and send us back to our dormitory.
And they doing this to you as a child, man.
That's it, because there wasn't no laws, wasn't no PREA, wasn't no laws against sex offense. They just sent the man to jail about that. But they been doing that.
Wow.
And everybody that went to Milledgeville and say that at that time would tell you that was going on.
Wow. Woo, man.
If you like this content, please like and subscribe.